Okay. So tonight we are building up to our peak pose of downward facing dogs. And I just want to talk a little bit about when downward facing dogs are hard for you. So for some people, the first complaint I hear is that it's hard on the wrist. One of the things you can do to build your wrist strength is to have a small weight. You can start out with 1 pound or 2 pound and just curl it in your hand and just do curls with your wrist. So that's a wrist strengthener. Doing yoga is going to strengthen your wrist. If you have an injury or something that is causing the repetition to not build your wrist, things you can do, um, especially if an inversion is not right for you, is downward facing dog can be done on a wall. So instead of putting your hands on the mat, put your hands on the wall and do what we're doing on the mat with our hands, with your hands on the wall. You can take it into a slight inversion by putting your hands on the seat of a chair, and that will help you to get the blood coming towards the head. So downward facing dogs, I put a little meme of it in the e-news, and it really is a great whole body workout. So we're working the hands, the wrists, we're working the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms. We're working across our chest. We're using our abs, and of course, we're using our legs, our hamstrings, our quads, our knees, our shins, our calves, and our feet. So it's just a great pose. Yesterday the question was, how is it a resting pose? And it is a resting pose if you're doing a faster vinyasa. For us, it's going to be more of a holding pose, which is, it can be resting, but it will be strength building. So anytime you need a rest, come down to your knees, do cat and cow, come into a child's pose, shake out your wrist, bring the backs of your hands together to stretch out your wrists and take care of yourself. So without anything else, let's find your way into a seated posture. I've got my ankles crossed, the flesh I've peeled away from underneath my sitting bones, and I'm zipping up my spine to reach the top of my head tall towards the ceiling. When I do that, it automatically invites my shoulders to roll down and back. The hands rest nicely, palms down on the thighs. And then I can take time to feel my ears and bring them over my shoulders by bringing my chin back. Let my shoulders be over my hips and just come into a nice tall posture that allows a lot of space inside of us for our breath. So find your way there. Another thing we talked about yesterday was for some people, sitting still is too much of a challenge. And so here during our centering, you can always do little trunk circles. You can do cat and cows. You can move your body in a way that is neurologically soothing for you so that you can turn your attention inward. So to help us to anchor in this inward place, we use our breath. And for this practice, we're going to use Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nostrils. So try that a few times and notice if you can keep your chest still, your shoulders relaxed, and just let that breath expand and contract the belly. When you're doing the Ujjayi breath fully, you should hear an audible sound at the back of your throat. Another addition or option for this practice is to stare at a drishti, a spot in front of you that's not moving. You can hazy your eyes, you can close your eyes. So for some people, closing their eyes sends them off into distraction. For some people, it helps them to not have distraction. I am one of those people. Eyes closed helps me to really go inward, to notice the sensations of my breath, to notice what I'm doing with my body, to release the resistance, the tension, the distraction, and to just be with that breath. Inhale and exhale. Let each inhale heighten your awareness of yourself, your parts, your pieces. Let each exhale support you in being right here, right now by releasing any tension, any resistance. And we're sinking into a state of serenity, presence in the body, being right here, right now, awake and aware. And then going a little deeper, start to notice what is noticing my parts and my pieces. And take your attention upward to the center of your head, to the space behind your eyes, between your ears. Here we can make space to realize, to remember, to connect with this part of ourself, this capital SELF, that is more than the sensations in our body, that is more than the thoughts in our head. To help us connect here, you might bring your hands into a prayer mudra. You might bring your thumbs to the forehead. This mudra helps to integrate the logic and the creativity, which helps to make that space more obvious between the observer, the witness, the self, and the thoughts and the sensations. And this is a great place to stay, build this awareness muscle. But we're going to go a little deeper and drop your hands across your heart. Let the palms pressing at your chest remind you at the core of your being, each of us, every one of us, is love. Maybe you notice, is it easy to feel that love? Do you doubt that love? Is that love blocked? Does that invitation to know you are loved bring forth emotion, or does it make you void of emotion? All these are information, heart intelligence information. This love becomes blocked by trauma and training and negative experiences. Here we remember to step out of that identification with the emotion. Step out of the resistance to the emotion and use the emotion as guidance. When you have an emotion, ask it, what is it telling you about your choices and your thoughts? What do you need? And it's a reminder to go back to connecting with yourself, feeling that love from the inside out, and then infusing it into your thoughts and into your actions throughout your practice, throughout your life. With your hands at your heart for our practice today, set a mantra for yourself, a statement, a declaration that enhances a quality that is within you that you might have forgotten or lost practice with. You can use the words I am, I have, I allow, make space for, I'm curious about, what if, how would I? Add a word to one of those statements. Repeat it to yourself a couple times. And slowly release your hands, open your eyes, take away any props you use to pick up your spine, and bring your left ankle across your right knee. So to start out with our downward facing dog, we need a solid foundation in our feet. And to support our feet, we're going to stretch the arch of our foot, the Achilles, by taking our hand into a fist and taking the edges of the knuckles and pulling down from the bottom of the ball of your foot to the top of the heel of your foot. And you can go more towards the inside and towards the middle and towards the outside. And the pressure is deep. So it should be to the edge of, just to the edge of discomfort. And just keep blading it down. And maybe give a little gratitude for your feet. And after you've done that a couple times, take your hands and just sausage squeeze your shin and your calf. Come up around your knee and then do the same down from your knee to your hip crease. Just say hello to your legs. So we're going to need our legs for downward facing dog. When you're done, switch to the other side and start to blade the arch of your right foot. And again, it should be to the edge of discomfort. Like you shouldn't be saying, oh, this feels so good. It should feel not too comfortable because you really want to stretch. And then move to the sausage squeeze of the ankle, the shin, the calf. Just saying hello to the knee, the hamstring, the quad, right up to the hip. When you've got that all done, come to lay on your left side. So we're going to catch our head with our extended arm. We're going to make a 90-degree angle at our hips. We're going to make a 90-degree angle under our knees. We're stacking our toes. You're going to pull your belly button in. Make sure your shoulders are stacked, hips stacked, and the right hand comes to the top of the hip. Keep that belly button pulled in and just start to do clamshells. So we're taking the top of our thigh parallel with the ceiling if you can, And do 10, 9, keep the belly button pulled in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on to the other. Oh, come on to your back. Sorry, I forgot about where I was going. So that movement builds muscle around the hip. We need nice, strong pelvis. But now we're going to work the abs. So come into a little ball. Just stretch the low back for a second. Draw your elbows towards your feet. Soften your face. Bring a little smile to your lips and see how it relaxes your behind your eyes. And then release into dead bug. Hands and feet go towards the ceiling as you concave your belly and glue that belly button into the floor. Point your toes and your fingers and start to cross your ankles and your wrists. So this little movement, we're working the core. It's a real easy little start out to the core. And you can do this fast. You can do it slow. You can do it wide. You can do it small. Just keep that belly button glued to the floor. And count with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lay your feet down on your mat. Walk your heels towards your buttocks and your knees together. Place your hands on the floor outside your hips and walk your fingers towards your heels. Flatten the back of your head. Relax your shoulders towards the mat. And then lift your hips and walk your shoulder blades towards one another until your fingers touch your heels. Press your hips up. We're working the glutes here, the hamstrings, and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Press your knees away. 3, 2, 1. Keep the throat open and pump up and down. Inhale up, exhale down. Press the knees away. Squeeze the buttocks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lay your hips down, bring your hands over your head, take a stretch, and then roll back on to that left side, catching your head. 90-degree angle at your hip crease, under your knees. Roll your hips back, hold it with your hand, pull the belly button in, and then separate your legs. Make circles forward. Again, this is building muscle in the hip, in the glute. Options here, you can keep the knee bent or straighten the leg and point the toe. Count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Backwards, other way. Start with a bent knee or a straight leg. Keep the core engaged, belly button pulled in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your belly. Bring your arms so that the forearms stack and the forehead lands on your forearms. Heavy your forehead and relax your shoulders. Bend your right knee, flex your right foot. We're building the glute here. Pump that heel towards the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep your head heavy. 3, 2, and 1. Relax that leg down. Bend the opposite leg, left leg. Flex the left foot. Keep your face soft, your forehead heavy, and pump that heel towards the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lay that leg down. You can walk your toe mounds together, roll the outer edges of the leg flesh to the outer edges of the mat. Then lift your head and walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. Spread 10 fingers wide. Our hips are heavy. The tops of our feet are heavy. Press into your elbows so that your head lifts up. And then bring your heart forward. Say your mantra to yourself. Relax the chest down, slide the hands to the nipple line, press into the hands and back into a devotional child's pose. Your tops of your feet pressing into the mat. Your hips are floating over your heels, and then widen your shoulders. Say your mantra to yourself as you peel your fingers, but not your wrist, off of the mat. Spread all 10 fingers nice and wide. Feel the opening in the palms, the chakra in the palms, the space in between the fingers. Drop your hands down and come up into box pose. Tuck your toes, set your knees under your hips, 10 fingers spread wide. Straighten up your arms, don't lock your elbows. Flow from your tailbone to the top of your head. Bend your elbows, sag your heart, and lift the top of your head. Take an inhale, that's the cow. And then exhale, tuck the tail, tuck the chin, straighten the arms, blow out all the air. Flexing each vertebra of the spine, flow. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Notice your wrist. How do they feel? Another modification here is you can always come up on to the ball of your hand. Take your wrist out of the equation. Your choice. Come to still and lay down on your right side. We have to do those clamshells on this side. Head falls on the right forearm, 90-degree angle at the hip, under the knees, toes tuck. Roll that left hip back, pull that belly button in, and open and close. See if you can get the top of your thigh parallel with the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your back. Come into that little ball. Take a moment here. You can add on here if you like. As you pull your thighs in, tailbone comes off. You can lift your chest to meet your thighs. Don't close your throat and keep your elbows reaching towards your feet. And breathe and breathe. On your exhale, release down. On your inhale, come back into that dead bug. Press your low back into the mat. Staple your belly button. Lower your left foot and your right hand until you're shaking. Shaking's building that core. And breathe and breathe. Count with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back into the little ball. Extend the right leg long. Half wind removing pose with the left leg. Breathe as you pull your thigh into your chest, hands wrapped around your shin. Draw your elbows towards your feet. Finish it off with a twist. Tuck the left toes behind the right thigh. Roll onto the right hip. Extend the left arm. Look over it. Melt your shoulders. Heavy your ear. Open up 5 fingers on that left hand and then slide the fingernails on the floor until you have a 90-degree angle at your elbow. And feel that stretch in the front of your left shoulder. We're going to use our shoulders for downward facing dog. And breathe and breathe. Exhale out. Inhale up to dead bug. Staple that belly button to the floor. Right leg, left hand. So your foot and hand might be up high, might be down low. Find your edge. Shake in a little bit, making muscle in the core, and count with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back into the little ball. And then extend the left leg, wind removing pose on the right side. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Pull your thigh deeply to your chest, massaging the internal organs. Finish off with the twist. Tuck the toes behind the thigh. Roll onto the left side. Extend the right arm out. Look over it. You can always use this left hand to hold up or coax down. Deepen the stretch. You want to make sure your shoulders are heavy. You start with that left shoulder and then go across your back. Come to the right shoulder. Open the 5 fingers on that right hand, then slide it into a cactus. Feel the stretch in the front of that right shoulder. And breathe. And breathe. Make your way out and roll back onto your right side for the hip circle. Set everything up in the right angles. Contract the abs, separate the knees, start circling forward. Knee bent or leg straight. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back it up. 10, 9. Pull your belly button in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Maybe do a couple more because on the other side I talked first. Just make sure you're even. When you're done, fetal pause and come up to seated. Legs long on your mat. Peel away the flesh underneath the sitting bones. Feel that 90-degree angle at your hip crease. Kickstand your hands behind you, walking your pinkies towards one another, kissing the shoulder blades, staff pose. Walk your big toe mounds together. Lift through the crown of your head. Bring your chin back so that stack ears, shoulders, hips. Think about your alignment. Press out through the heels. Pull your toes towards you. Pull your belly button in. As you press out with the heels, you'll feel that stretch in your calves. Feel the lift in your heart. Open your heart, your throat, your mind. Breathe and breathe. Exhale the heels down. Point the toes. Walk the hands forward. Poke the hip crease. Flex the feet. Hinge down. Slide your hands to your thighs, then your shins, maybe your toes. Keep your chin out of your chest. Keep lifting long through the crown of your head. Bow your heart. Say your mantra. So a modification here is you can always have a strap. If you can't reach your feet, you can bring that strap around. Keep these props close to your mat so that you have options. When we come up, bring your left leg with you. Peel away the flesh between the thigh and the belly. Wrap your left elbow around the shin and sit up nice and tall. Inhale that right arm into a sweep. Kickstand it behind you. Tuck your left elbow on the inside of your left thigh. Spread your fingers wide. Stay tall. Stretch and look over that right shoulder. Take your eyeballs behind you to keep that field of vision nice and wide. And breathe and breathe. Make your way out and bring that left ankle either around your ankle, around your shin, above your knee. Kickstand your right hand to the floor. Make that nice tall back. You've got a slight little arch at your low back and coax down that left knee. Bring the heart forward. The add-on here is to bring the right foot to the mat. You can keep bringing it closer to you. You can thread the needle, bring the hands under the thigh, or you can bring it around your shin. Just stay tall, keep the throat open, the mind open, the face soft, and breathe. Stretching that hip, getting us ready to come up into our dog soon. Release that right leg to the floor. If you lifted it, stand up the left leg to the outside of the right leg. Peel the flesh away. Wrap the right hand around. Lord of the fishes. Stay tall. Turn your shoulders to parallel the left side of your mat. This is 1. 2, sweep that left arm up. Tuck that right elbow if you can. Don't do it if it's too much. Find your twist. Get tall. Pull your belly button in. Breathe. Stretch your eyeballs. And breathe. And release on the exhale. Leg goes straight. Come into that staff pose. Hands behind you. Pinkies walk towards each other. Shoulder blades kiss. Flex the feet. Press out with the heels. Kiss the shoulder blades. Feel that stretch in your calves. You're going to need this for downward facing dog. Breathe and breathe. Exhale, heels down, point the toes, stretch the tops of your feet. Walk your hands to your thighs, flex your feet back up, separate your toes, hinge at the hip crease and walk down, bow the heart. Grab your strap if you need it. See if you can lower down a little bit more. Keep your throat open, your spine long. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Breathe, Ujjayi breath throughout your practice. Bring that right leg with you. Wrap your elbow around, sit up tall. Sweep your left hand behind you. Tuck your right elbow on the inside of your leg and look over your left shoulder. Twist. Wring out all that doesn't serve you out of your spine, out of your head, out of your heart, out of your body. Stretch your eyeballs. Exhale out, cross that ankle across your leg. Kickstand your hands behind you or coax down that right knee. Slide the foot to the floor if you're ready for the add-on. Stay tall. Thread your needle if there's space. Around the shin if you can. Breathe and breathe. Exhale out, Lord of the Fishes. Stand up that right leg. Peel the flesh away. Wrap the left arm around and turn the shoulders. This is one. Nice twist for the spine. Add on, sweep the right hand, tuck the left elbow. Look over your shoulder. Get taller. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Make your way out. Come on to all fours. So this might be a good spot to grab a drink. I failed to have my drink next to me. You should have yours next to you. Hydration's always great. Hands and knees. So you can always roll your mat to support your knees. You can place a blanket under the knees. You can roll your mat and place your hands on the mat to take the pressure off of your wrist. That's another option. And you can always come up onto the balls of your hands. Once you've got your box, walk your knees back, bring your head forward, bend your elbows, and bring your elbows towards your body in a modified plank or a full plank. Lift your knees. Pull your belly button in and elongate from your heels to your crown. Building muscle in the arms, across the chest. Count with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever you were, inhale up into a downward facing dog. You might start by widening your feet, be on the balls of your feet. Make sure your hands are shoulder width wide. First, downward facing dog. Bring the hips high. Heels can be high right here. Ears in between the upper arms. Roll your shoulders wide. Again, if this is too much on your wrist, come up onto the balls of your hands. We're going to drop that right heel down, bring that top of the left foot to the back of the heel and stretch that calf that we just stretched. 3 breaths. Switch sides. Bring that left foot down. Right top of the foot comes to the back of the heel. Keep lifting the hips. You can shake your head here. Dump out your head trash. And then say your mantra. Come back to a wide leg. So walk your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Downward facing dog. Weight into your right foot and reach for your left ankle. Look underneath your armpit and breathe. And breathe. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right hand to left ankle. Look under the armpit. Breathe. Walk your right hand down. Walk your feet towards one another. Bend your knees. Glue your belly to your thigh. Walk your hands towards your toes. Come into your first forward fold. Drop your head towards the floor. Float your hips up. Grab your elbows. Lower your forearms. You can stay still in a static stretch. You can move. Your choice. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Release your hands, contract your abs, roll up one vertebra at a time. Sweep your arms overhead and take a nice tall stretch. Drop your shoulders out of your ears, spread 10 fingers wide. Then bring your hands to prayer, bend your knees, and roll back down. Walk your hands out into a downward facing dog. See if you can keep your heels down. If you need to, widen your feet. Hands are outer shoulder width apart. Lift your hips and align your ears. Feel the blood rushing to your hip, your head, your teeth, your gums, your pineal, making your cheeks rosy. Release your shoulders, roll your armpits in. Feel the triangle that you're making with your body, inviting you into curiosity. What else is possible? Can I straighten my knees without locking them? Can I lift my hips a little higher? Do I need to shake my head? Dump out the I can't. Breathe and breathe. Walk your toes towards your hands. Find your forward fold. And then inhale into a halfway lift. Align the upper body with the floor, hinged at the hip crease. Sag the belly, lengthen through the crown. Let the fingers fall where they will. Don't lock the knees, but straighten the legs. Breathe. Exhale back into the forward fold and shake out the wrists. Shake out the head. And then land your hips and step or hands and step your feet back into downward facing dog. Drop your heels, lift your hips, widen your shoulders. Keep your left foot where it is. Bring your right leg up. Point your toe. Stay here or add on, lowering that right shoulder, bending that right knee, splaying that right foot over to the left. See if you can heavy that left heel. If you're doing it, straighten that left leg. Breathe and breathe. Exhale that right foot down. Bend your knees, walk your hands to your toes. Forward fold, shake out the wrist, shake out the head. Breathe. Come to still, walk back into the downward facing dog. Heels down, hips up, shoulders wide. Right foot stays where it is, left leg comes up. Drop that left shoulder. Stack your hips, point your toe. Drop that right heel, and if you like, bend the knee. Splay that left leg over. Keep dropping that left shoulder down. You don't have to do it. You can always take a break. Go to box pose, go to child's pose. Breathe and breathe. Exhale that left foot down. Everybody drop to your knees. Tuck your toes, come up onto your knees. Stack your ears, shoulders, hips. Sweep your arms up, out to the side. Kiss your shoulder blades and then bend at your elbows. Bring your fingertips to the top of your shoulders. We're going to work that waist. Give our hands a little break. Turn to the left. That's your inhale. Take your eyes over that left wrist. And then turn to the right. That's your exhale. Take your gaze over your right wrist. Keep your hips squared forward and twist. Pull your belly button in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on out, puppy pose. Make sure you're back enough on your mat. I was a little too forward. Hinge at your hip crease. Slide your left arm out, half puppy. Bring your right forearm across the mat. Drop your forehead, sag your belly, widen your shoulders. Keep your knees or your hips over your knees. And rest your forehead on your forearms. Melt across your upper back. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. Slide your left hand towards you. Lift up. Come into box pose. And cow and cat. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Other side, right hand sweeps out, left forearm comes across. Keep the hips over the knees, drop the forehead to the forearm, and sag the chest, widen the shoulders. And breathe, and breathe. Inhale that right hand towards you, lift up your head. Come to stand on your knees. Toes are tucked, so we're going to stretch those feet again. Hinge at your hip crease. See if you can sit on your heels. If this is too much, you can always come off. If it feels okay, you can walk your hands back and lift your heart. Little heart opener. Kiss the shoulder blades together and breathe. Keep separating those toes. Stretch them out nice. And then slowly come out, full puppy pose. Come up onto the knees, hinge at the hips. Slide both hands out. Keep those hips over the knees And bow the heart, forehead to the mat. 10 fingers spread wide, roll the shoulders wide. And breathe. You can always add a block under your forehead to lift you up, a block under your chest if you need it. Breathe and breathe. Slide your hands towards you, lift your head. So I want to do a flip dog, and I want to give you a modification for the flip dog. So from box pose, we're going to step back with our right foot, cross our right thigh across our left. Kickstand that left foot, plant the left hand, sweep the right hand up, and kiss the shoulder blades. So this is our flip dog modification. Your shoulders are stacked. Your elbow is not locked. There's a little micro bend. You're rolling that right hip back, and you're using the left knee to make it not so dramatic. Breathe and exhale out. Let's try the other side. So from box pose, step back with the left leg, sweep it across the right, kickstand the right, reset the right hand, and inhale the left arm up. Bring that right hip forward, bring the heart forward, kiss the shoulder blades. Breathe and breathe. Add on, you can always lift that extended leg. So that's another option. Keep the toes on the floor or lift the leg. So remember that as an option. Come on out. Widen your knees. Bring your big toe mounds together and sink in to a devotional child's pose, lowering your chest, your chin, rolling your shoulders to the outer edges of the mat. You can always place a block under the chest, under the chin. You can add on here by lifting the fingers, the palms of the hands, not the wrists. Spread all 10 fingers wide. Remind the hands how they can be long. Take out the arthritis in the fingers by stretching them. Feel the chakras in your hand, one giving, one receiving, reminding you of the flow. Keep separating your knees and relaxing your hips down. And breathe and breathe. Lower the hands down, slide them towards you. Sweep that left arm up, thread it underneath the right armpit, lay the side of your head down, press into your right hand, stretch the back of that left shoulder as you press towards the left side of your mat. Breathe and breathe. We're going to come back into the downward facing dog soon. And this stretch is so nice to release the shoulders, the upper back. Make your way up and out. Other side, right hand sweeps up, threads underneath the armpit, lay the shoulder, the side of the head down, roll towards the right side of your mat, press your hips back, keep pulling your belly button in and feel the stretch. Ujjayi breath, you're breathing in and out through the nostrils. Relax the fingers on that right hand. Inhale in, up and out, and come back to box. You might take a drink before coming into box. If you're here already, you can move organically. Make sure you're high enough on your mat so that you can exhale up into downward facing dog. Lift your hips, widen your shoulders, drop your heels. Keep that right foot where it is, float that left leg up. Step that left foot behind your left hand. Spin your right foot. We learned this one last week, fallen triangle. Left hand on the middle of the mat. Left knee over the ankle. Sweep that right hand up. Breathe. Come on out. Reset your hands. Spin your back foot back into the heel, coming down, toes facing forward. Slide that left leg underneath you. So one here, you can wiggle that right foot back. You're sliding that left foot towards the right. The add-on is to lower the hip down, bend the elbows, and hold. Modification, you come out, come back to box. You can always not do this. It's a psoas stretch. We're going to hold for 6, 5, 4. Keep the shoulders out of the ears. 3, 2, and 1. Make your way back to downward facing dog if you took a break. You can drop down to box. We're going to flip our dog. So remember how we did the flip on the knees? So if you're going to stay with me in upward and the lifted downward facing dog, we're going to land our right foot, sweep our left leg up, spin on our right toes, drop our left foot over to the right, flip the hips around, lift the hips up, splay out that left arm, and hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on out. Rest in downward facing dog or take a child's pose. Got to do the other side. When you're ready, downward facing dog. Land the left foot, reach that right leg up. Step it forward. Fallen triangle. Heel of foot behind heel of hand. Stack the knee. Place the right hand in the middle. Spin the left foot. Sweep that left arm up. Bring your heart forward. That right chest comes forward to stack the shoulders. Look up at your left hand. Stretch your eyeballs. Breathe and breathe. Left hand comes down. Reset your hands. Spin your left foot. Drop your left heel. Sweep that right foot underneath the left armpit. Stay here, bringing your head forward, or slide the left foot back. Drop the right heel down. Bend the elbows. Pull your belly button in. You're working across your chest, your upper arms, your triceps, your biceps. Hold for 6, 5. You're stretching your psoas. 4, 3, 2, And one. Come back to downward facing dog. Here you might drop to box to flip your dog on your knees. Be mindful, be honest with your body. Flip your dog. Left hand stays where it is. Right leg comes up, crosses over, drops down. Spin the left leg. Lift the hips, splay the arm. Don't lock that left elbow. And count 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on out. Drop down to hands and knees. Come up onto your knees or sit on your heels and shake out your wrist. Breathe. Say your mantra. Say something nice to yourself. Shake your head. Feel that blood coming back to your heart. And come on out. Come to seated. Grab a drink. We're going to slip in our balance pose. So make your way up to standing. Make sure you're nice and hydrated. Find your mountain. So you can use your foot to align the right distance in between your feet. And then align the outsides. Zip up your spine. Dancer pose. So it's a nice little quad stretch if you come fully into it, but there's lots of options for dancer. Stack your ears, shoulders, hips, feet. Weight into your left foot, bend your knee. You can always have a wall or a chair that you're holding on to with your left hand. We're going to take our right hand, with our belly button pulled in, grab the outside of our foot, roll that right shoulder back. If that's too much for you, you just practice lifting those right toes off of the floor. A dristi is going to help you to balance better. Find your dristi. Knee pressing towards the floor, foot pressing into the hand. Add on. You can always take your left arm out or up. You can hinge at your hip. You can kick out with your foot. You can bring your toes over your head. Breathe. And breathe. And come out a little more gracefully than me. Mountain pose. Find your dristi. Ignite your core. Soft right knee. Lift up the left toes. Maybe that's your dancer. Find the outside of your foot. Drop your knee. Maybe that's your dancer. Extend your arm. Maybe up high. Maybe hinge forward. Maybe kick back. Breathe. Say something nice to yourself. You're a beautiful dancer. Make your way out gracefully. Find your mountain. Close your eyes for a second. Open your palms, drop your shoulders. Feel your body. Notice your parts, your pieces. Relax the tension, the resistance. Come up to your head. Feel the two hemispheres integrate, and that space that allows you to notice the part of yourself that is the observer, that is the witness. Slow your breath. Relax your face, your cheeks, your jaw. Bring your hands to your heart. Let yourself come home. Say your mantra. We're going to inhale, open our eyes, sweep our arms up, swan dive. Exhale, bend the knees, splay the arms. Inhale, open the fingers, kiss the shoulder blades. Exhale, hinge at the hips, float on down. Come down to your mat. So at this point, you might put on socks or layer clothes. You might grab a blanket. You might light a candle or switch your music or turn off your lights or grab props that are going to support you later. Something maybe under your neck or under your knees. And just make your way down into a savasana. So savasana isn't a time to fall asleep or check out. It's a time to practice being present with yourself in your body on your mat. Lots of options for savasana. I'm going to demonstrate a restorative teepee pose with my legs. I've got a little neck stretcher under my neck. You might put a washcloth or a hand towel under your neck, a washcloth or a hand towel rolled long under your low back. You can have your legs over a chair or a piece of furniture, up a wall in a cobbler pose. Lots of options. You can have your legs straight, wide legs with feet flopped out. And practicing vulnerability. You can cover your eyes, you can close your eyes, you can keep them open. Open the palms of your hands, face them towards the ceiling. Relax your shoulders, heavy the back of your head. And then scan from the top of your head. Imagine your hair relaxing. Your face relaxing between your eyebrows, behind your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Use your breath to not leave your practice yet. Still have a few seconds, so a few moments, actually about 6 minutes. So stay here. If your thoughts go to the past or the future, repeat your mantra and use your breath as an anchor. Melt across your shoulders and down your arms, heavy your elbows, open your fingers. Let your fingernails rest on the floor if they can. If they can't, just soften in to where you can be. Ujjayi breath, slow it down. Add a count to the inhale. Count 2 between the inhale and the exhale. See how long you can hold the exhale. Just count. It's a practice of neutrality, being with the facts and the emotions without becoming either one of them, without identifying with them. Keep that triangular breath going and relax the belly, heavy the hips, down the legs, into the feet and the toes. Listen for that breath sound at the back of your throat. Sink into the moment. Be right here, right now. Aware of yourself, starting with your breath, and then the sensations, and then the thoughts, and then the emotions. What are you learning about yourself? Taking that inquiry with you, find your way into a stretch. And then coming into a supportive fetal pose. Place something between your knees and use your forearm to catch your head. Roll to one side. Bring your thighs deeply to your chest and place your hand across your heart. So the free hand across your heart. Say your mantra to yourself. Slowly start to open your eyes. Gaze down at what you have between your knees. Maybe it's your fist, maybe it's a ball, maybe it's a block, maybe it's a blanket, maybe it's a pillow. Let it remind you to take how easy it is to take care of yourself. That object between your knees is supporting your low back, it's supporting your hips. Feel your forearm under your head supporting your neck. Let it remind you to self-nurture, to take care of yourself, to share kind thoughts when you're talking to yourself, when you're talking about yourself, when you're thinking about yourself. Take time to take kind actions. It's so easy. Just slip them in. Take frequent pauses to check in with what you're feeling and the guidance that your emotions are giving you. And slowly make your way up to an easy seated pose. Ankles crossed. Peel away the flesh underneath your sitting bones. And then sweep your arms up. Take them out to the side. Arch your back. Lift your heart. Feel your light shine. You are important. You are precious. You have a gift to give. And exhale, wrap your hands around, left hand over top, right hand underneath, and round down, dropping your chin, concaving your belly. Bow. Bow to yourself. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale out to the side. Inhale, arch the back, open the palms. Give yourself a hug, right hand over top, left hand underneath, and then concave the belly and bow the heart. Say something nice to yourself. And slowly come on out and just take this last minute to take your hands. My room has gotten so cold, my hands are like ice cubes. And just massage the back of your neck, the tops of your shoulders, maybe the scalenes under your ears, not too much because they'll wake you up for the night, or just your neck. You can end by just giving yourself a little rub on your upper arms, a nice little soothing gesture. And then hands to prayer, thumbs to heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me this evening. Namaste. Let me end the recording and then you guys can all chat.